Unprecedented night. For the first time in the four-belt era, you've got Undisputed against Undisputed, fighter from the different weight division moving up to challenge themselves to be great. It will be one heck of a night on Showtime pay-per-view, September 30th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. You can purchase your tickets, AXS.com, AXS.com. Gentlemen, let's have one last face-off.
What's up? The undercard is almost set. Erickson Lubin versus Jesus Ramos, a very good fight. Frank Sanchez versus Chris Arreola. $84.99 on Showtime pay-per-view. I noticed something different.
Versus Undisputed. The Iron Man, Jermell Charlo, taking on Canelo Alvarez. Showtime pay-per-view, September 30th.
You have the banner saying Canelo Promotions with PBC on Showtime, I think is what it says in the back. But either way, I believe it like this. Canelo is a PBC fighter. Like, what's so difficult to understand? He signed a deal with PBC. A co-promotional deal, but it's a deal with PBC. I never got that, I never understood that, oh, this person's not this fighter. Terrence Crawford is a PBC fighter. He may not, he may have his own.
Brian Campbell, Raul Marquez, and Captain Jack himself.
He may have his own way of handling things, just like Canelo, but the money's come from PBC and Showtime. But either way, if you don't know, Canelo was said to have signed a 3-fight deal with PBC. It was originally supposed to be Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez, but Jermell Charlo decided to let his brother step in for him. I guess this is what I'm getting. And it's an intriguing fight because Jermell Charlo undisputed at 154. Me personally, I don't feel Canelo is a real 168-pounder. I feel that he's up there because of opportunity, but really he's a 160-pounder to me. That's just my opinion. September the 30th. Tickets are on sale. To get in the building is about $350, at least what I checked on the tickets website right here. Canelo's got a lot of miles on him. He's been pro since he's 15, had some injuries rock up over the last 5 years. A knee, wrist, an elbow, I believe, and it was something else. Jermell, though, is coming off of a 16-month layoff and 2 other somewhat significant layoffs before that. Now, according to Derek James, he's saying that he doesn't want Jermell Charlo to come into the ring at the full 168 pounds. He wants him to be fast. From what we hear so far, there's no catch weight.
The demeanor of guys are...
There's no catch weight, and there's no rehydration clause that we know of. Canelo was originally looking to fight Badu Jack at a catch weight of 185 for a 200-pound title, and Badu Jack was like, no. Badu Jack is the WBC champion at cruiserweight. I mean, if I was to give like my rating, I'm waiting to see if they sit down with the Showtime team individually to do interviews with them. If I was to give my opinion on this fight, I'm excited. I'm an 8 of 10, if that makes sense. And that's really excited. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a fight. I'm intrigued. The undercard, Erickson Lubin versus Jesus Ramos. I'm intrigued. Something was fishy about Jesus Ramos pulling out of the Terrence Crawford card to me, though, but whatever. Better fight. He was originally supposed to fight Sergio Garcia on Spence Crawford. Well, there we are. See? Told you he was going to come sit down. Let's see what he has to say.
A Olympic gold medalist, a world.
Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. We're going to be streaming on this channel, and my content, like this video that's going to be edited, is going to be put on the main channel. I don't really have too much time to explain it because Jermell Charlo is going to start talking, but if you like my content, you should follow both channels, TstreeT Uncut and my main channel. There's a plan in place. Let me shut up. They're about to start talking. This is live real time, by the way.
Yeah.
In New York. LA press conference is tomorrow. We're going to be here for that as well.
This challenge,
Yeah.
but you just had your first taste of Canelo, eye to eye. What'd you learn about him?
I mean, you can't really learn right there. That ain't a learning part. They're just my opponent. Yeah, we'll see you in a month. Like, you know what I mean?
How? What does this mean to you? I mean, you've become the undisputed champion at 154. You've always taken on big chances. You've used everybody's name in terms of who you're willing to fight, and now, and you showed that in this last-minute offering. What does this say about you and your legacy that you're building, that when the call came, you picked up, you were ready?
My kids gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? This is a thing that I'm gonna do and wanted to do and had this plan for years ago, and now that it's presented itself and I take on this big challenge, it shows that you can do things without you doing stupid shit. You could just take a big risk. You know what I'm saying? And I control my career as well. You know, Lions Only Promotion, we've been moving forward, and me and my twin brother have been putting on for some years now, and so it's only idea in time that the Charlos and the Canelos fight, you know?
Sure. Mel, you were so respectful up there. Like, I mean, that's not the Mel that I know. You always, you know, have something to pump you up.
Yeah.
Brian Custer, when he asked you a question about the naysayers, the negative, that's
He was
got
gonna
you a
say you
little
always
bit
got some shit to
pumped up.
talk.
I mean, are we going to see that throughout the whole fight? You know, being respectful, or do you feel like you need that edge, you know, to get you fired up?
I think I'm kind of like a little bit of both. You know
In
what I'm
between?
saying? I don't got no disrespect for the man. The
Right.
man, the legend. The man did
Yeah.
his thing. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You got to give props when it's due. So, I mean, it's just a challenge, you know, and it's a great challenge. You gonna beat me, yeah. You gonna say that. You gonna talk shit. Thank God for all of these old hating ass fans that always talk crazy about. They prep me into being able to handle an opponent like Canelo saying crazy shit too. So it's I'm humble. I know who I am, and I know what I bring to the ring. So you know, he knows what he got on his hands, and we're gonna go in there and do what we gotta do.
Now, Mel, I know you got a lot of tools in your toolbox.
Yeah.
Can you tell us one of the most important ones that you're going to use that's going to defeat Canelo?
I know that jab going to be active. That jab got to be active, you know. Lateral movement really got to be active as well. So we can't just sit there and take shots either. You know what I'm saying? It's about being smart in there. So using my high IQ will definitely put this fight in my hands.
We don't have to talk about really getting into it because you're fighting Canelo Alvarez. Like I said, you have the respect for him. We know who Canelo is. Yeah. But going into this fight, that's for a legacy and it's for family. Right. I know that's what you're thinking about. How important is that for you to not only take this fight for a legacy fight, but also stand up and to do something great again for the Lions promotion and for the Charlo family?
And the culture.
You know what I'm saying? And the culture, exactly. So and protect us because we need one.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if y'all put it on my back, man, I don't need a cane, baby. I got it. Yeah. So, and I think of it that way. I'm going to hold it down for us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to make sure that I represent us well. Right. And this is it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need to be in there like Canelo said. I don't got to trash talk. Right. I don't got to do all that. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know me. You know my attitude. And I wish that I would have never presented such a negative or bad energy. But this is just who I am. Right. So I'm going to give y'all what it is. If you piss me off, I'm going to give you what you asking for. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Right. Yeah.
That's always what you've been all about. Lions only. I like the respect you have for Canelo, but we showcased a new part of your team up there in Joan Guzman, 2-division champion.
He been with me for a long time.
I like
already.
how y'all train too. I like how y'all train.
Then educate us. Yeah. Bringing him to the forefront now. How will this help you prepare?
Well, I had Juan Guzman in my team on training me my whole time that I've been boxing. I mean, not the whole time, since 2017 for real. Mm-hmm. And then we fly back and forth, train with each other. But as the fight started getting a little bit more serious or bigger stages, you know, we brought him in like, hey, you need to be here way more. So Juan Guzman has been a part of this. And he's a legend to me. He was my favorite fighter growing up. You know, like one of my top 4, you know. So
y'all training went viral too. That viral video y'all made, it's everywhere now.
Yeah, I've been peeping. Yeah, that was a while ago too. Yeah, think about it. I've been on my grind now. Yeah, and then the hand injury. Don't worry about that because I wouldn't even be taking no fight like this if I had to worry about a hand injury.
Nah, the
hand good. Yeah, and that's why we get the opportunity like that.
Yeah, indeed. Your brother was supposed to be in this spot. We've talked about it. It was a great surprise to boxing fans that the call came to you and you answered it. What kind of role though will Jermall play with you in preparation for this fight. We know he has the same aspirations to fight on this level, and hopefully he'll get that chance. But two brains together is gonna be.
Shout out Maul.
I don't know what he's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what type of support I'm gonna get from him, or if he thinking I'm gonna win or lose, because he said he next. You gonna have to I'm gonna beat him and get a rematch. So I don't know what y'all talking about. And we in a whole different ball field right now. We got a whole different mindset.
Yeah.
Canelo, on paper, he's naturally the bigger guy. He's been there for 168 for a while, light heavyweight. You know, he's supposed to be stronger. What bothers you about him the most? What do you know what I mean? His speed, his power. Like, is there anything that concerns?
I mean, I know he got some power. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know he can move too. He can mix punches. I mean, we just finna have a fight. You know?
Right.
Like, I don't think I'm gonna be too much worried about what he gonna do, and y'all gonna see that. Dang, we underestimated a little bit of Jermell Charlo. And that's what I'm coming to show. I like when I got haters and doubters, and I got people that don't really know me yet. They don't really know how hard I hit. They ain't been in the ring with me. So hopefully after the fight, Canelo can let y'all know like I'm one of the most dangerous fighters that he fought.
More fuel to the fire.
Well, the biggest thing of respect that I have for you, for Jermell, is how you rise to the occasion when your back's against the wall. I'm talking about the rematches with Tony Harrison and Brian Castano, both knockouts where you brought it to another level. Yeah. What is it about you that when cornered, when pressed, we see an even more focused and even more dangerous version of you?
Can't leave it to question again.
I don't know. Like, I just have it in me. You know what I'm saying? It was built in me. It's instilled in me. I grew with this, so I got a fire in me, and I just want to keep that thing lit. As long as I'm in this game of boxing, you're gonna always get the same different. You're gonna get a different Jermell Charlo, of course, but you know, I'm hoping y'all peeping the maturity that I've been through and the lessons, the life that taught me, and I'm growing and learning as a man now. You know what I'm saying? And so. Being able to grow as a man allowed me to be able to get in position to fight a fighter like Canelo.
I want to wrap it up with this. You had a little interaction with Terrence Crawford after the Errol Spence fight. Yeah. You've said at times the idea of, I'm going up for Canelo, we'll see what happens, but I'm still the undisputed champion at 154. How do you think your body will look in this matchup? Are you going to put on a lot of muscle? What is your preparation?
We're going to be able to be comfortable and walk around at a good, comfortable weight and not have to do too much worrying about draining ourselves, depleting the body and stuff. And I think that's the only thing. And after this, we'll see what we can do with Terrence Crawford after I get my era of Canelo out the way.
Do you feel like, Mel, you're more like a middleweight, moving up to super middleweight, man? Because 154, like in the past 3 years, you had one fight each year, and you had to make it just one time 154. So I look at it like you're more like a middleweight coming up to
54 is just what I weigh in at.
Right, exactly. You only have to make it one time.
Only weigh in at 54.
That's what I'm saying. So you feel you're more like a middleweight.
Of course.
Well, Matt, we appreciate your time. This was an excellent close-up to get us pumped up for September 30th. And I liked seeing you and Stack working the ring there in Houston. I mean, it's getting a little long in the tooth, but he could have been something special in this arena if he wanted to. Right?
He owned it. Yeah.
Best of luck for you, Jermell. Congratulations on getting here.
Yes, sir.
The undisputed champion at 154.
It's a Texas thing right here, Dave.
Yes, sir. You see that.
See y'all in L.A.
Indeed. I'm on the outside looking in. Jermell Charlo, thank you so much for joining us. Fired up. Indeed, September 30th, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Undisputed versus Undisputed. We're going to catch up just the same.
I wonder if they're going to talk with Canelo. They just announced they're going to talk to Canelo. So, I forgot what I was saying. Undercard, Erickson Lubin versus Jesus Ramos. Don't be surprised if that's going to be some type of eliminator for a title. I have the rankings up here, but we'll pull them up in a minute. And then a fun fight, but I'm not really ready to see him get beat up because he's kind of got a close spot in my heart. Frank Sanchez versus Chris Arreola. Not Frank Sanchez. I'm not really a fan of him, but Chris Arreola. So you're supposed to have Canelo versus Charlo, Erickson Lubin versus Jesus Ramos, and Frank Sanchez versus Chris Arreola. We're waiting for one more fight to be announced for the card. September the 30th on Showtime pay-per-view for $84.99. How do y'all like that new price tag? I'm guessing that's going to be the new norm now. I mean, yeah, we did get Haney versus Loma for $60, but that was, Bob Arum said that was an experiment. I talked to him myself personally about that, and he said they did really good at that number. But $85 in these pay-per-views, like, they be whooping my ass. It's a lot of them. It's expensive being a boxing fan, you know? And then remember, you still got Tank Davis, who probably may be fighting in December. That may be his date for pay-per-view. Ryan Garcia returning. Iris Lindy Lara, Danny Garcia. They're going to smack a pay-per-view on that. They're looking for a date for that. David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade, supposed to be pay-per-view. These are supposed to be Keith Thurman versus Yordenis Ugas. These are supposed to be this year. This year. By the way, take your time out. Like the video, subscribe, and TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360. Tomorrow is the Los Angeles press conference with Canelo and Charlo, 2-city mini tour. This one today is in New York, the same place where they did the Spence Crawford press conference, and tomorrow's is in LA. You know? So we're waiting for Canelo to come around and sit and do his interview and talk to the Showtime team. As you can see, he's making his rounds. But listen, I'm not going to count Jermell Charlo out. I think Jermell Charlo has a really strong chance. What's going against Jermell Charlo is, does he have the power to stop Canelo, a durable fighter that's been fighting at higher weight divisions now, 160 long time, Canelo weight, then 160, then 168. Canelo weight is 155. He was there for like 2 years, almost 3 years. However, Castaño being the smaller fighter, maybe, more active as far as punch output than Canelo, not as technically sound, but if you know, and this is no knock to Brian Castaño, you went life and death with Brian Castaño. Canelo is more accurate and should be able to do some damage. I don't really consider Canelo to be the bigger fighter. So I'm not concerned about it being at 168 for Jermell Charlo. I'm not concerned about that. What I am concerned about is Jermell Charlo's layoffs, you know, and his trainer having a hell of a schedule and a hell of a lot of pressure on him. Remember, he just got Ryan Garcia, who got knocked out by Tank Davis. Frank Martin, his other 135-pound contender, didn't look good. Errol Spence got knocked out. This past weekend, Anthony Joshua was a little bit of a scare. He needed that knockout against Robert Helenius. And even though it was a late step in, Joshua still looks a little broken to me. But Derek James is his trainer. That's just me. Me personally, I like the way AJ looked with Robert Garcia. But then now, just after this weekend, he's here, Derek James, for a press tour with Jermell Charlo, who's going up 2 weight divisions to fight Canelo Alvarez. Then after that, Ryan Garcia's return and Errol Spence's return. And then Joshua versus Wilder. So Derek James has a hell of a workload. And you just have to, you know, when it comes to that, I think you just have to factor that in when you're trying to predict how a fight may go. You know? That's a hell of a workload, bro, for big-time major fights. I'm not talking about, oh, yeah, he's training main event, global fight, like, you know, reach fighters in big events. You know, you have Joshua looking and saying his timing is off. You have Frank Martin saying his timing is off. You have Errol Spence saying, the timing just wasn't there. Come on, Canelo, make your way to that table. I got to run into the city. I'm waiting for him to do his interview so we can get up out of here. We're going to be here tomorrow for the press conference as well. Let's see what they're talking about.
I think if Canelo, I think guys like Austin Trout that come to mind, Irislanda Lara, of course, Bivol most recently. And if you want to go way back to Canelo's at the beginning, Larry Mosley, a guy that
not Shane Mosley,
Larry Mosley, guys that are usually slick, awkward, fast, elusive, long jab, really good with the jab. Those are the kind of fighters that give Canelo Alvarez problems, and we've seen it in the past. With Lara, close fight. Austin Trout, really close fight. Larry Mosley, a long time ago, we saw what Bivol did. You know, a great boxer, puncher, bigger guy. those are the type of guys.
Charlo is not Bevo, that's for sure. Charlo's going to be there to be hit. My concern about Charlo is how he ended up on the ropes against Brian Castano in the first fight and later on in the second fight. You do not want to be there against a Canelo where you're going down to a body shot. If Charlo was to lose, I would see it being a body shot, if I'm being honest. Fucking around on the ropes. He's got to be light, which is why Derek James says he doesn't want him at the full 168 pounds weighing in. Also, Jermell alluded that in the interview that he just had moments ago with the Showtime team is that, basically saying, I'll weigh in at 154, insinuating that he comes in much bigger in the fight. So the plan is, from my understanding, the 3-fight plan is supposed to be for Canelo to fight Jermell, and if he beats Jermell to go on to fight Jermell Charlo, and then David Benavidez. But that David Benavidez fight could have been Errol Spence, but I think Errol Spence fucked that up. A Canelo versus Errol Spence fight don't really mean nothing no more. And that was a fight that Golden Boy was interested in when Canelo was with them years ago. So it looks like it would be Jermell Charlo, depending on how the fight goes. If Canelo wins clean, Jermell Charlo, David Benavidez, Andrade winner. But if it's David Benavidez, Andrade supposed to be fighting later on this year as well. All right, here he is. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe.
I appreciate
the
that.
way you carry yourself. There was a lot of respect up there from the face-off. Does that surprise you at all?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, but I like it. I like it because when two fighters are 100% on the fight. No, I know everybody like drama and like to see we talk shit about each other, but I like this kind of press conference because there's when you find out is 100% on the fight, right? And I like it.
Well, let's talk about the scouting report because you thought, like we thought, that it was going to be Jermall Charlo next. There was a last-minute switch, and you're talking about raising the stakes. Now we have Undisputed versus Undisputed. How different is the preparation from one twin to another in these two great fighters?
We just focus on the fighter. We train 100%, but just focus on the style of the fighter. Just that's the only thing is changed.
I got a question. Since we're talking about the twins, Jermall, which one do you think is better?
I think Jermell is a better fighter. I don't know yet because I'm not being in the ring yet, but I think Jermell is a better fighter. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Why?
Because his skills, he fought with better opposition.
Opposition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's why.
By the way, your English is getting way better, man.
Thank you.
We could talk. We could hang out now and
I try my best, and I never take
some tequila shots.
I never take lessons. I just saw the TV in English and talk with my friends in English, and I don't care if I make mistakes. I think that's the way you learn, right?
Right. So Canelo, you've been solid. You've been solid at 168. Also as a light heavyweight. Do you think Jermell is getting a little bit over his head, thinking that he could move up 2 weight divisions and defeat Canelo Alvarez?
I don't know what he's thinking, to be honest. And I don't care. I just care about how I'm going to train, and I'm going to prepare myself for the best Charlo.
One thing I want to say is I'm fanning out right now. I'm a big fan, so I'm fanning out right now. I'm sitting next to you. But the professionalism that you show, I think that's what I respect a lot about you. Like you said, a lot of people come in and feel like you got to talk trash, or you got to demean the person to make yourself look good. I respect the fact that you only focus on what you have to do and not the nonsense. And Bud Crawford showed that as well. Is that refreshing to see in the boxing sport?
No, I love, like I say, I love respect your opponent because in the ring is different. But I like these kind of things because it's when you see you both are 100% of the fight, because we can talk shit and we can fight here, but in the fight it's gonna be a boring fight, right? And so I like this kind of press conference because
who's that back there dancing?
You don't need to make drama. You don't need to fight here. Everybody maybe do that because they want to sell more pay-per-views.
Right.
I don't need it.
Yeah. Professionalism, that's all that matters.
Stack, I couldn't help but look at the way you guys was dressed, and you're always ahead of the curve. Saul in the silk, almost pajamas, man.
Hey, he always, Louis, always, he always clean.
I like that.
I try my best to.
But he puts others to sleep in that, in that regard.
Exactly.
Seriously, though, Saul, when we're talking about this challenge, you're always needing dangerous challenges to motivate you, to get you out of bed. You moved up and fought Bivol. We were watching highlights of your beautiful knockout of Sergey Kovalev from just a few years back. What is it about Jermell that gets you up early in the morning to train even harder?
I love boxing. I love what I do. That's motivate myself and by myself. And I have a really good fighter in front of me. And this fight, long time is in talks, right? Everybody, and he calling me out a lot of times. So, but for your question, I love boxing. I love what I do. I just being happy in the gym, running in the morning. I love it.
Regardless who you fight.
Yeah,
love
I don't care who I fight. Yeah.
Canelo, I like that you admitted, you said that maybe your last couple of fights, you haven't looked that great or whatever. People criticize all the time. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, because I'm not able to train 100% with pads, with to throw my hands in 100%. Because
were your hands hurt?
Because my injury.
Oh, your injury, yes.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm 100% able to train 100% and hit hard in the gym and make that make me confident.
And this fight, this type of fight, motivates you more.
Motivate me and more I'm able to train 100%.
Right.
When I'm able to train 100%, I'm different.
Yeah.
Any different?
Because in your mind, you go into the fight and you say, I don't train like I used to.
Right.
Train.
Yes.
So it's a little bit difficult, and you play with your mind and everything.
Right.
But right now, I'm able to train 100%.
And when you go in the ring to boxing, you can't second guess yourself. You have to be focused and confident.
Focused and confident. And if you don't train your 100%, you don't.
You know it.
You don't confident 100%.
Yeah.
But you can handle it, right?
Yes.
With different type of fight, but you can win a fight. But right now, I feel great. I feel great.
Any different? I mean, you used to fight in Cinco de Mayo, and then you used to fight in 10 de septiembre. But
16.
16 de septiembre, yes. But this is
You're
the
Mexican.
No, I'm sorry, no.
On,
yeah. 16 de septiembre, yes. But this one's on the 30th of September.
Yeah.
It's different, huh?
Yeah, no, it's not
Does
different.
it make any
I
difference
think
to
for
you?
me, always, every day is Mexican Day. Right?
Every day is Mexican Day. I like that. Es todo.
I don't feel different. Every time I fought, I think it's the correct day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what day it is.
Come on, bro, you're Mexican. Can we put some respect on your hometown here?
It's almost the same. It's almost the same. Come on.
No, it's not the same.
Oh, it's not the same.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time.
It's not the same red and black.
You're right.
Totally different.
Red and white.
You're right.
Different.
You're right.
Canelo, thank you for your time. Best of luck. You're back. You're healthy. Another breakthrough super fight. We can't wait to see it. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet
I
you.
appreciate it.
The
Thank you.
four
Gracias.
division champion and the 4-belt king at 100.
So he says he feels Jermell Charlo is a better fighter than Jermall Charlo because of better opposition. I mean, that makes sense. Can't really argue that, right? Can't really argue that. So I'm going to be honest. I'm giving Charlo a 45% chance to win. I'm giving him a chance. Mostly because Canelo, even though 33 years old, he's got a lot of traffic, a lot of stop-and-go traffic, a lot of injuries, fatigue. As he's gotten older, richer, is he training as hard as he used to? Jermell Charlo, however, he's been on extended layoffs. Last fight 16 months ago in a rematch against Brian Castano, he's had a hand injury. He's got this fight and another big fight, win or lose, against Canelo, back at 154 against Terrence Crawford. But will he even be able to go back down to that weight and be able to produce? You know, I don't know. Either way, I like the fight, and I love how aggressive Showtime and PBC has been this year. It's almost like Showtime is in a contract year. Like, look, this is why, you know, look at all the great fights we can make. This is why we need to keep Showtime boxing around. But if you're noticing more and more, and all of the big cards are going to pay-per-view. We're not getting no real treats on Showtime anymore. Maybe some, you know, I'm trying to remember. What was the last big fight we got on regular Showtime? I can't remember off the top of my head, but we're going to be here tomorrow for the LA press conference with Canelo and Charlo. And then, of course, we're going to be here for the episodes of All Access. The first one on September the 8th and episode 2 the week after that. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.